Guys, this is Mr. Joshy J, and welcome to driver ratings and team ratings for the Emilliano Grand Prix. Yes, I thought it was quite a good race, especially out on the intermediates, and it went a bit stale in the end. All drivers covered and all teams covered. So, right, going to start off with my usual order because the way I got it written down, I always like to stick to the same order. Max 10, yes. P1 in the sprint qualifying, P1 in the sprint race, and P1 in the main race. Absolutely dominated this weekend, Max Verstappen. These conditions absolutely favour the Dutchman. They really do. We've seen it so many times. Sergio Perez, 10, yes. P2 in the sprint race. I know, not P2 in the sprint race. I think it's P3 in the sprint race, but in the main race, P2. So, yep, absolutely fantastic by Perez. And he's quite high up in the championship as well. This is the Sergio Perez of old. What we knew when he's driving for Racing Points in Force India. He's definitely performing well. He feels very much at home for this car. He really does. Charles Leclerc, 6. Now, you have to mark Charles Leclerc down, I'm afraid. P2 in qualifying, P2 in the sprint race, and P6 in the main race. Massive joke. I mean, tried to catch Sergio Perez for P2, but then, unfortunately, got too greedy, went wide, and crashed into the barrier and damaged his front wing. Shocking error that by Charles Leclerc. That really could be a killer, that one, for his momentum, because he's been on fire recently, Leclerc, so that one would definitely hurt. Carlos Sainz, 5. Yep, unfortunately, contacts with Daniel Ricciardo. Racing incident, I say, but again, a very early exit for Carlos Sainz. Very disappointing for the Spaniard. It really is. Because he's out on lap 2 in Australia and out in lap 1 in this Grand Prix. Not the best way to celebrate your 2-year extension for Carlos Sainz, unfortunately. But I'm pretty sure he'll bounce back. I mean, in the sprint race, he actually did really well to recover. So he got up to about P6, I think it was, in the sprint race. So, yeah. Unlucky for Carlos Sainz. Lewis Hamilton, 0. Absolutely 0. Now, I am a massive Lewis Hamilton fan, but I cannot defend the way he drove this weekend. Awful. Just absolutely nowhere near George Russell. Got schooled by George Russell. And the thing what hurt the most was when Max Verstappen lapped Lewis Hamilton. The driver, Lewis Hamilton, was fighting for the championship last season, gets lapped by the current world champion. Embarrassing. Really is. That one hurt. That was painful. That really was. Where this time last year, Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton were going into the first corner in this circuit, battling for the lead. Of course, Max got in front. Very aggressive, Max was. But yeah, shocking weekend to the British driver. Really was. I mean, P13 in the sprint qualifying, or P12, then P14 in the sprint race, and then lost a couple positions at the start, not aggressive enough. Yeah, awful. To me, that is a worse weekend than Monaco 2011, and I thought that was a shit weekend, but this one tops it, unfortunately. Worst weekend ever for the 7-time world champion. Massive Lewis Hamilton fan, but you cannot be biased. You got to say it how it is. 0, I'm afraid. It hurts, but absolutely 0. George Russell, 10. Absolutely 10 for George Russell. Wow. P11 in the qualifying I mean, P11, I think, in the sprint race. At the start of the main race, very aggressive, made up a few positions, passed Kevin Magnussen, obviously got up to P4 when Charles Leclerc crashed into the barrier. And so far, George Russell is the only driver to finish in the top 5 in all of the opening races so far. So that's absolutely fantastic by George Russell. He's definitely settled into Mercedes well. And Lewis Hamilton schooled him all weekend, George Russell. So fair play, absolute fair play. Lando Norris, 9. Yes, 9. I mean, did very well in qualifying and in the sprint race, and then in the main race, P3. Absolutely fantastic by the British driver. Daniel Ricciardo, 5. I mean, literally he had his main race ruined when he made the contact with Carlos Sainz. Like I said, I'm not blaming Ricciardo. It's a racing incident. So, yeah, 5 for Daniel Ricciardo, unfortunately. Fernando Alonso, 5. I mean, it looks promising for him because he's actually doing all right in the sprint race. And then in the main race, contacts with Mick Schumacher, and then he lost his side engine cover and, yeah, had to retire because aerodynamically that would have been all over the place. Esteban Ocon, 4. I mean, contacts with Lewis Hamilton in the pit lane and a 5-second time penalty. So, yeah, not a good weekend for Esteban Ocon at all, I'm afraid. Sebastian Vettel, 10. Yes, absolute 10 for Sebastian Vettel. What a turnaround for a driver. I gave -1 in the last race. I thought Vettel was superb this weekend in these changeable conditions. P8 in the main race, Aston Martin's first points this season, which means now every team has scored points this season, because the only ones not to score points last season were Haas, because they weren't developing the car. But I'm delighted to say now every team has scored points this season, so that's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, well done to Sebastian Vettel. Lance Stroll, 8. Yes, I give Lance Stroll an 8. P10 in the main race and a couple more points for Aston Martin. So solid by Lance Stroll. Pierre Gasly, 5. I mean, yep, bit of an average weekend really for Pierre Gasly. I mean, P12 in the main race because of Ocon's 5-second time penalty, but you know, obviously battling with Lewis Hamilton, and he's able to stay ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Wow. But yeah, Gasly not quite good enough this weekend. Yuki Tsunoda, 9. Yes, I thought Yuki Tsunoda was very good this weekend. He finished in the points, so definitely a solid weekend to the Japanese driver. Bottas, 9. Yes, Valtteri Bottas. Absolute 9 for Valtteri Bottas. I mean, P5 in the main race, and obviously did well in the changeable conditions, and when the pressure is off Valtteri Bottas, he's very much at home in that Alfa Romeo. He really is. Guan Yu Zhou, 2. I mean, yep, what can I say? Not the best weekends for him. Ended up finishing last in the race, so yep. Not the best weekends at all. Kevin Magnussen, 9. Yes, I give Kevin Magnussen a 9. I thought he's very good this weekend, Kevin Magnussen. And the Haas in the wet weather, I mean, wow, unbelievable. Handling well. Mick Schumacher, 4. I mean, contacts with Fernando Alonso, so not the best weekends for Mick Schumacher and the Haas. Outdone by K-Mag all weekend. Lucas Latifi, 5. Hold on, I gotta give a round of applause. Well done for making it into the checkered flag this time. Alright, he spun a couple times in the practice and qualifying and that, but well done for making the checkered flag. But you are still well and truly out of your depth. But up until now, I gave him nothing but 0. So why finish in the race? Unbelievable. Alex Albon, 10. Yes, outperforms that Williams again. I mean, P12 could have gotten the points, but I'm sure he'll take P12. Alex Albon, that's absolutely fantastic. Right, team ratings. Red Bull, 10. Yes, 1 and 2. Their first 1 and 2 since 2017 in the hybrid era. Ferrari, 6. Disappointing weekend in the end for the championship leaders. Mercedes, 7. Now, I would have gained them higher, but you got to mark them down because of Lewis Hamilton's performance. So, what a fantastic weekend by George Russell. McLaren, 8. Really solid performance by Lando Norris. Honestly, not great for Daniel Ricciardo. Alpine, 5. Not the best of weekends for the French outfit. Aston Martin, 8. Really good weekend for them. And finally, points on the board. AlphaTauri, 7. Great for Yuki, but poor for Pierre Gasly. Alfa Romeo, 7. Very solid this weekend. So obviously marking them down because Guan Yu Zhou finishing last. Haas, 7. Yeah, solid weekend for them. K-Mag outperformed Mick Schumacher all weekend. And disappointing weekend for Mick, really. And Williams, 6. Solid for them. So that's the driver ratings done. Team ratings done for the Emillia Grand Prix. We move on to Miami next. Very much looking forward to that one. New circuit, so be interested to see how the drivers perform. Comment your thoughts down below. I will always reply. And join me for the Miami Grand Prix weekend. Back to the usual format, no sprint in that one, so that's great news. So, Saturday, qualifying review. Sunday, race review. And then Monday, driver ratings and team ratings for the Miami Grand Prix. Bye-bye. Comment your thoughts down below. I will always reply.